Okay, guys, happy Monday. I am excited to start off a new week. I'll tell you, I'm going to do here, I think it's on the 13th. I'm actually a guest on Janetta Joseph's team call that she has on Wednesday nights. So I'll share that on the team pages. I have no clue what she's going to ask me, but one of the biggest topics that she did tell me that she wanted to talk about was, the ups and downs throughout your business. And boy, oh boy, do I got a lot on that one that I can share. Just because the reality of it is that it's not always going to be an uphill climb. And a lot of times you're going to get hit backwards, and it's how you recover from that. It's like you set the precedence for your entire team in the hard times, right? Because it's easy to celebrate when you're winning, when everybody's hitting goals and stuff, but when you hit that wall of actually reaching new people, that's where you have to grow. That's where you have to like dig deeper than before. Like for me, I can tell you I hit that wall a couple years ago, and obviously I was going through my divorce and just like a lot of changes in my personal life, and it was like I kept on having all these different things happening that I literally was not able to give the attention that I needed to. I wasn't in the right headspace to give the attention that I needed to. But with that said, I had to dig deep within myself to figure out how can I utilize what I'm doing, because this is what allows me to be home. So like I still needed to work my business, and I was, but I also realized like I need to reach a new audience, right? So you're always going to hit that wall, especially like when you first have somebody join you. It's easy to post, and well, okay, so that's like number one, right? You have to actually post and share and talk to people. How you decide to reach new people and to network, that's totally up to you. It can be in person, it can be online, it can be through attraction like type marketing where you don't really talk about like being right up in your face. Me, I'm a no bullshit person, so I just like to say what it is because I don't want somebody to message me and feel like I'm like trying to like talk in circles. Nope, I'm going to tell you how much something is, what it does, and if it's not for you, it's not for you. If it is for you, it is for you, right? I'm not ashamed to be a thriver. I love Thrive because of what it's done for me. In fact, I just made a post just a little bit ago, and I posted a before picture of me in 2017 and a picture of me today when I was making a TikTok earlier. And honestly, like I was 36 in the first picture and I was 43 in the second picture. And I look younger in the 43-year-old picture. Now, yes, I've lost weight and so forth, but you guys, I cannot tell you how many people have said when you lose the amount of weight that I lost, which was like 140 something pounds, I'm gaining like 15, 20 pounds back. That's another story. I also picked up some bad habits, right? But I'm gonna lose it again, but I just like got back on in the head game, right? Because like I'm in control and I know why I put it on. It was too like snacking and things like that. And the reality of it is setting realistic expectations for yourself, like what you're putting into something. I take my Thrive every single day. So these results that I've accumulated over the years, I've had weight loss surgery. I could have looked a lot older, is what I'm getting at, right? I could have looked a lot older because I lost a lot of weight. And, sometimes when you lose a lot of weight, you can age yourself very quickly. But I've done a couple things. I've taken my supplements, I've drank my water. I have a hell of a good skincare routine because I love our skincare now. Like I loved it before, but I love it even more now. Like the hydration is just, it feels incredible, right? Um, Although I do love the charcoal soap. So that's a hard one to get rid of, but I'll tell you, our skincare line is legit. So if you have not ever used it, I can tell you, um, try it like ASAP. Try it. All three steps of it. Okay. So like put that on your list of things that you want to try. Because especially I'm 43 and I promise you, good skincare is important. It's like probably like I've been saying that since my early 20s. And because I've been conscious of that, I can tell you that's a big thing. But also, you guys, how you eat, what you eat matters. All right. Including your drinks. So like I want to say a couple of years ago, well, 2017, um, I was looking through pictures, and the reason why I did a live picture of me on a live was one, I knew that the picture couldn't have been retouched. All right. Because a lot of pictures back then were like Snapchat, which is weird because I don't even have Snapchat. Two, I knew that there wasn't any filters on it since it was a live video. So I wanted to take a picture that was true Amanda in the flesh. Okay. I was drinking a lot of wine. You guys, I can't even tell you the last time I had wine. In fact, I don't really drink much at all. If I go on like a trip or a getaway or something, I'll have a couple drinks because let me tell you what, if you saw me in 2019 in Punta Cana, I was shit-faced. Like I lost my phone at the hotel and had to go back and find Twin and everybody because I lost my phone where we were drinking. Maybe it was tequila. I don't know. It's either vodka or tequila. Anyways, both of them were a nightmare for me. And I drank way too much. And you know what? Courtney Glacier had just gotten sober and I ran into her and I was like, "Oh, Courtney, don't look at me right now," because I just felt so ashamed. Because I was like, no, it wasn't Punta Cana. Oh yeah, it was the Dominican because there was Dominican soup or something in the hallway in the middle of the night. It was so weird. But anyways, I totally got some because I needed to sober up and find my phone. But like what we're putting into our bodies, like how we're eating, like if you eat a bunch of junk and fried food and stuff like that, like you're gonna notice like your skin's like not gonna look as good. Your overall health, your body's not gonna feel as good. Just like the same thing, like I know that you guys have heard about your second brain being like your gut. And I'm telling you, like, if you struggle with gut health, like literally, and you're not drinking your shakes, get on it, get on it. Start there, right? So like your gut health is one big thing. Like for me, I've struggled with my gut for years, many years, but I've become more and more aware of it. So like I don't take balance every single night, but I do take balance multiple times a week. Because one, sometimes I forget, but I take collagen every day. I take my Thrive every single day. Do I miss a day that I might miss my lifestyle mix? Absolutely. And I wear my DFT every day. I clean my face every day. I wash my face every night before bed. So like I'm telling you these things because when I'm looking at those pictures and I'm thinking about the changes that I've made because of joining Thrive. All right. Because I wasn't doing these things before Thrive. In fact, it's because of the people that I was surrounded around, people that were taking their health more seriously, people that were wanting to feel better, people that were wanting to, like, I never knew vitamins felt anything. In fact, I have somebody on a sample pack right now. And right before I got on the Zoom, she was like, well, can I take this other multivitamin? And I was like, well, you don't really need to take two multivitamins. And I'm like, listen, just try the Thrive, okay? And see how you feel because most people don't feel their vitamins. And I can tell you, like, I passed like when I was working as a nurse, I passed medicine all the time. And most of the time, guys, when people are taking stuff, they're not expecting to feel it at all, unless it's like a pain pill or like something that's going to knock them out to sleep, right? They're not expecting to feel it like a vitamin. So most medicine you don't feel, it just improves the way that you're able to function throughout the day. And that's why this as a supplement, most people, when you take it, either your pee turns bright colors because you're not fully absorbing it, or you're just not noticing a difference on a day to day basis. Thrive, though, if you're actually taking it on a daily basis, especially if you are increasing the way that you're eating and like your overall lifestyle, you're going to notice a huge difference. I tell this story a lot, but like my ex-husband, whenever we first started thriving, he was new onset diabetes. And he didn't start feeling it for like the first 10 days. And it's because of the way that he was eating. It was because his body really kind of was not it wasn't really absorbed. It's like he went through that detox process first before he started to notice that he was actually really tired. He was really sluggish and things like that, because his body wasn't used to actually getting what it needed. And so it wasn't being absorbed the way that he needed to, because why? He needed to get the other shit out. I'm just going to say it. Okay. He needed to get the other stuff out of his system so that his stomach would actually absorb what it needed to, because like we swallow it and it goes down through into our belly and then gets absorbed, while it's passing through. And if you have a bunch of bacteria, and there's studies on this, guys, you can literally look it up. I'm not pulling this out of my hoo-ha or anything. But literally, if you have a lot of like gut bacteria, or I don't know if anybody's had like a colon cleanse or anything like that, but a lot of times we have yeast or fungus or anything going on, parasites, whatever going on in our stomach. Sometimes stuff is not absorbed better. So the better gut health you have, the better you're going to absorb things and more that you're going to be able to take in. So I'm saying all this to say this is that people that thrive, and I'm talking about longtime customers. I saw some videos today. I was doing a little bit of research because I want to get a lot of samples out in the next couple days. I love to like get new promoters coming in around the 15th. Why? Because their volume rolls from March 15th into end of April. So that's going to be the best chance for a new person coming in to go 4K. Okay. So right now I'm working on samples. So I was doing some research. I was looking up Thrive videos of people that sold samples on TikTok. So I was doing homework. I do this on Facebook. If I see a post that's like incredible wording and I can like fudge it into my own, I'm going to use it. Okay. Same thing goes with Instagram. Same thing goes with TikTok. I do some keywords research and so forth. So I was watching all these videos and I came across some like anti MLM videos. And when I was doing that, one thing I noticed on all these videos was the comments were people that were thrivers that love their thrive. They may not promote it, but they are thrivers and they loved the thrive. Okay. And they promoted how they got it for free. So that made me think. And I'm like, wow, okay. So people that maybe aren't into the business side of it because they don't understand it sometimes, um, they still love the way they feel. So that's a key point. Who is it that's mainly wanting it? It's really, you guys, honestly, it's men and women equally. You can find it on both ends of the spectrum. It's just more who you're targeting at the time. It's also, I noticed it being more from like the age of like 20s to 50. I mean, it's like literally 20s to 50s. 20 to 50-year-olds. It seemed like, for me at least, the audience was more like 30 to 50. That range seemed to be the more people that were like posting and commenting that, hey, like I love my thrive. I've been thriving for 6 years. I've been thrive. Listen, and you don't get people that are thriving for that long as customers unless they're actually feeling it, right? Unless they're feeling it, because that means they're paying for it, if at least paying for their shipping, right? Because some of them, like I said, were saying they got it for free. So with having these retention bonuses right now, guys, literally, like, now's the time, if ever, that you made it more plausible for people to actually be able to thrive for free. Like, you stress that with your customers. I just signed a new customer last week that I didn't get to tell you guys this because obviously we had to cancel the Zoom, but I signed a new customer last week that I had sampled out on a year and a half before. And she literally, guys, she didn't try it, and then it was sitting there and she was like, okay, Amanda, I tried it and like I felt incredible. She's newly retired and so forth. And she was like, I am going to go ahead and tell my daughter about this because I think she would love it. And I was like, well, I'll tell you what, if they see you feeling really amazing, then you need to make sure you let them know my phone number. And I told her, just tell them to text me and to tell me that you sent them, and I'll help them. I'll make sure they get her referral, and then let's get you getting this product for free every month, because I want to make it that simplistic. She's not big on social media. She doesn't utilize marketing. So if whoever you're talking to, remember, they don't have to post, you guys. They just have to let people know. So like the people they're working with, the people that they talk to on a day-to-day basis, they're going to notice that they're all of a sudden wanting to get more active. They're all of a sudden getting up and playing with their kids. They're all of a sudden feeling amazing and wanting to go do things and go for walks. And because when we feel better, what do we want to do? We want to get out and do things, right? When we actually feel better, we want to get out and do things. And as the season starts to change and summer's right around the corner, that is a huge thing. What about the bonuses? So, okay, there's a couple different things, right? So we have the daily bonuses right now, and that's until the end of May, right? The end of May. Then we also have the weekly PPA bonuses. So those alone are enough to motivate us. Like that's a lot of money every single week. Not only are we getting the commissions, but $200 a day for 7 days, you're going to hit that 2000 goal if you did that. If you hit the 400 PPA. So if you did that, that's $1,400 plus the $1,000 for hitting a 2000 PPA. That's $2,400 in 1 week you could earn. Right. And that's not even talking. If you signed a 400 pack, you're going to get an $80 fast start bonus. If you sign customers, you're going to get the commissions. And then if you have a team that you're teaching to do the same thing, or somebody coming in and going VIP, you're going to get a lot more, right, for your commission. So that's your on a weekly basis. On a monthly basis, you've got the customer acquisition bonus. So, and they just raised that. So now you can not only get 20, 40, it's 60 and 80 as well. Holy shit. And listen, I'm all inspired because I've seen people that have already hit this. So I'm like, okay, like that's customers have never been my strongest suit. But I will tell you this, wherever you focus is where you will grow. So while I say I want to get a few promoters on in the next couple, like in the next week, that is, yes, a focus of mine. And you will see some of my posting kind of target more towards that. Because if you're just throwing out a fishing line, but like you're not using any kind of bait, you don't know what you're going to get. But if you use the bait that was, hey, I'm going to tell you about this opportunity and what you can get out of it, which is you can run a business for free. You could, be able to pay for maybe your vacation, maybe to pay off some debt, maybe to just buy your groceries and pay for your gas, whatever it might be, right? And you get somebody started and you set those small goals to help them figure out like whether it's VIP 400, 800, 1600, they want to go 4K, whatever it may be. You're more likely to sign a promoter because you're talking about it. You're being intentional. And listen, the more you talk directly to somebody, pick somebody out directly that you want to talk to. And I'll be honest with you, I act like I'm talking to myself, but not actually me. Like I'm a different person and I'm out there talking to myself. Okay. Because that makes it more personable, and that somebody that needs it, that's going to hit them. Okay. That's going to hit them. Because I want to help somebody that was in the same boat as me, or that was where I was when I started, or hell, maybe even right where I'm at now. Of what are my goals? Like I want to be able to be home. I want to be able to help people. I want to lose a couple more pounds, whatever, right? But still, I want to be able to help people achieve the things that I have achieved over the last 11 years. Because I'm coming up on my 11th year in this industry, and I ran out like my warm market. I'm constantly adding to that, you guys. Like every day I have to say, how can I reach who's my audience, right? And honestly, that's changed over the years. That has changed because as I've changed, where I've been at in my life and what I've gone through has changed. But so these bonuses right now, they only like that customer acquisition bonus, what, until the end of May, but like the actual rank advancement bonuses are till the end of April, right? Yeah, gosh. I'm like, yeah, the end of April. I hope they extend them. But right now, we know the customer acquisition bonuses are going till the end of May. We know the rank advancement bonuses are going till the end of April. Of course, we have Thrive-Palooza next month. By the way, I just got an email. If you're a 200K or Millionaire Club, make sure you fill out your size. You guys, this year they're going to do jerseys instead of this big old boards, which I'm freaking ecstatic about, because those boards are hard to carry on the plane. They are so hard to carry on the plane. And it's a pain in the butt through the airport. That's why I've given them away. I've given away the last few years. I wanted to get my originals and then I'm good. But I'm looking forward to these jerseys. They're gonna be really cool to see up on the stage. Um, but I also we're gonna have, what was it? There was something else I wanted to, oh, the hotel. If you haven't booked the hotel, I think, was it the 24th of this month, or was it might have been a couple days later than that. But sometime the last week of the month or something, to make sure you do it. What is a warm market? Again, it's people that you know already. It's people that you're already friends with, people that already know you. You have an established relationship with. Maybe you followed each other. And that doesn't mean that, like, it's like people that you actually know, like you've been commenting, you've been talking to, you've worked with, you've worked at your doctor's office. They are familiar with you already. So you might already have some established know, like, and trust factor. Okay. Because they already know you. You're not somebody that has just appeared out of nowhere and you're just trying to sell to them. Let's put it that way. So, like, when I post, you guys, people don't take it as, here's the thing. If I post, I know that everybody's going to order from me. I know not everybody's going to want Thrive. I don't care. That's cool because I don't want what everybody else posts about. Okay. So I don't take it personal. And so I just am constantly trying to remember, like, there is somebody that's out there buying Thrive from somebody else. And I want to be able to share what I have with those people quicker than they get to share it with them. So, like, who can relate to me? So I'm always trying to make new friends intentionally, right? So, like, I look up people that have things in common with me, and people that um like react to my videos. I know, like, okay, there's something about me that they like. Well, I like them, and I go to their page and I see, like, what kind of person are they? What kind of content do they post? And then I'll either like, follow, and I'll comment on their stuff if I like them, right? It's just like, who you want to be friends with. Who do you like? Who inspires you? Um, and don't be afraid to elevate that to people that, like, it's kind of like your chicken list of people, like, man, I'd love to work with. She'd be my dream person to work with. Don't be afraid to friend those people. Don't be afraid to cheer those people on, because you never know when what you have is something that they would want. You never know when their life, their husband or they just got laid off. And now they are in a position that, like, hey, I need to make money. And this girl has been consistent. First off, if you're not consistent, you're not going to sign somebody that wants to be consistent. And listen, you don't have to and by that I say, you don't have to be that person that's posting 20 times a day. I'm not. And I've signed more people sometimes when I'm not posting like a crazy, because I'm actually following up better. Okay. But when you go to my page, guess what? You still know I'm a thriver. It's all over it. Right. And I'm not talking about, like, that's the only thing that you see. You see other stuff. You get to learn about Amanda. You know a little bit about me. So you're establishing that because I'm also like, oh, thank you. Thank you. So the 26th is when you have to have the hotel, at least for the Lavelle price. And I will tell you, Megan was telling me the other day, and I'm a first responder, so I don't know, you guys might want to check into it, but she's a first responder, and she is telling me that she was actually able to get a better discount. And sometimes, so if you know anybody that's like a first responder or anything like that, that's with you or booking with you, just check into that, because sometimes you can find better prices than what, like, even Lavelle can get, because a lot of times that's like a, what do you call it, whenever they get like the group rate or whatever. Sometimes you can get a better discount though with like a first responder discount or something along those lines. Anyways, Jackie, I'm like running my mouth and talking, but I want you guys to understand that right now, um, you know, I want to say, I don't want anybody to take themselves off the table, because we are all going to grow at different rates. And I might have a really big season and then I might go backwards a little bit, right? Because you lose your motivation, you lose your excitement, you lose your momentum. All right. But it's up to me to recreate that momentum. It's up to me to have that mindset of, okay, how do I reach new people? Because I know I'm talking to a lot of the same people. So I need to give what I want to receive. I need to friend people. I need to like their posts, support them, cheer them on. I need to expand my network, but I also have to stay consistent with what I'm putting out there. And honestly, I need to get better about hitting the record button in the morning because I make my connection with video. I do I'm not good with words, okay? I'm too wordy. So I like in like written form. I don't come across right. But when people watch me in video, that's when I make my connection. That's when I get the most messages that come back to me, including in stories. I just need to hit the record button and like go live in my stories or go live on live on Facebook. I need to get better about that, but I'm not exactly a morning person. So that's really why I don't do it that much, but I just need to do it because people need to see it. Um yeah, I would check it into anything. You can look into Groupon. I looked on a couple different things and Lavelle had the better price until I found out, like Megan said, I haven't found it yet, but Megan had told me like first responder price. I'm not sure. You guys just look around. Like if you don't end up getting it booked through Lavelle, I will tell right now, if you're not a first responder, Lavelle has the best price. I've looked at different sites and so forth. I do every year. Lavelle did have the best price that I had found, but and listen, pile as many people in. It like I'm my husband, that's the plan for him to be going with me. But if he doesn't, then I'm gonna be throwing, hey, you want to come over here? You want to like pile up, right? Get as many people in the room together as whatever. All right, I'm shutting up now. Jackie, talk for a
Hi
second.
guys, hi, happy Monday, and nice to see you again, Amanda. Yeah, we were both like en route somewhere last week, so we couldn't hop on Zoom. Usually, like I'm like, hey Amanda, I'm gonna be late, or she's like, hey Jackie, I'm gonna be late. But both of us were like, hey, we're both gonna be late. So, anyways, welcome you guys. Happy Monday and happy March, right? We are already in March Madness right now. I really, really, really hope that you guys have been trying at that 400 PPA, right? Your 400 100% payout PPA, like having it here right now. I want you guys to practice, okay? Practice right now. Like right now is really good practice time. If you guys are hitting it, great, but there's still 2 months of this promo that's happening, you guys. Do not sleep on it, okay? Don't sleep on it because this is really like, even if you're not somebody that is a high enroller, even if you don't even have a team, this is something that can really bring you belief checks, right? It can help you, your belief checks, whoever you share it with. Like it's kind of the easiest time to flip someone over who's already loving the product. Because if somebody's already loving the product, oh my God, congratulations. Sterling says that it is her very first bonus. But yeah, like anyone who's already loving the product, they will just be like, oh my God, like, okay, yeah, why not? Like if it's going to be 100% payout, it is a very easy yes, you guys. Really easy sale to get people to join the business at this time because of this 100% payout. So really take advantage. March has always been a phenomenal month, mostly because, people are getting their tax return checks back. People are starting to get out of their holiday funk. They're starting to, they maybe paid off a couple of bills and really they're starting to come back to life and kind of thinking like, all right, well, if my bills are getting a little bit harder, there's things that I need to do about it, right? And if you guys like, if you have a lot of people who are sharing that, like your audience, right? If your audience is sharing a lot of that they don't have money for things, you guys either lead with the opportunity or talk about how health is like pretty much like, it's uncompromisable. You cannot compromise your health, right? If you're stressed out about money, your health is deteriorating, right? Like make stories about this. Make stories about how, like at least Thrive is helping you get through your days because you have to work harder because things are just not easy right now. You know what I mean? Always go back to the benefits of Thrive. Don't just be like, it's nice to be sunshine and rainbows, like, oh my God, we're thriving, we have energy, blah, blah, blah. But a lot of the time when people see it, they're just like, oh my God, they're just so damn happy. Like how they don't believe that vitamins can do these things. So you really kind of have to put it out there and be serious, you guys, as much as fun as it is and all that. Be a little serious and just kind of put it out there like, no joke, my vitamins are giving me this energy. There's no way I'd be able to get through these days. If you want to try it, hit me up. put a little bit of serious stuff in there, and then go back to your normal life of being the happy thriver that you are, right? Sometimes people don't join us because they think that it's just fake, that we're just faking the happiness, but you guys know it's not fake. You guys know what these 3 steps is doing for you. They do not, right? And I even had a customer, you guys, who she tried the Thrive experience and she was telling me she was loving it and she's complaining about being tired. And I asked her, I'm like, how much product do you have left? She's like, I have a bunch of it sitting in my pantry. I'm like, well, why is it there? Like, take it out. Why don't you finish it at least, right? And she told me straight up, she said, because my doctor told me not to take it. And I told her, I said, you know what? I get that a lot. I get that a lot because doctors don't really take a look. They don't really know what's in it. They've definitely never tried it. And if you come to them and you tell them, like, oh, here's these vitamins I'm taking for weight loss, right? They're going to tell you, don't worry about your weight loss. Just go and, like, but you have to literally tell them that, like, these are vitamins that help with like energy and gut health. You can't just tell them it's for weight loss because you know what I mean? Like, doctors are not, they're not going to care about your weight loss thing. They're really not, right? So you really have to tell them in the right way. Anyways, but I told her, I said, this happens all the time. Doctors will say this all the time because obviously, what are they doing? They're prescribing you medicine. And I'm like, but healthy people usually don't need medicine. So just, I've told her that. And she's like, I'll try it again. And I said, don't worry. I hear this all the time from doctors. Like, as long as she doesn't say, like, well, whatever, I don't guide them away from taking their medication if they are. Um, Amanda says in the thing, she says that is facts. Bring them the PDF, and honestly, they don't know what's in it, and they think it's loaded with caffeine. Yes, and then she says, yeah, she was the cardiac nurse. But they don't take a close enough look at it. You know what I mean? And if they don't know enough about it, they won't say yes, it's okay to take, right? So that is the main thing. If a doctor says no, if they say no, and you have to kind of dig a little bit deeper, right? Not to say like go against everything the doctors are saying, but did the doctor actually look at the PDF, right? What exactly did the doctor say? Because this particular person, she was having like thyroid issues, and then yes, he told her, he's like, if you're going to be taking thyroid medication, don't take other things, and that's basically what a lot of them will say. Do you want to chime in on that, Amanda?
I do.
Yeah,
Because you shouldn't take thyroid medicine with anything else.
yeah,
Okay. You should not take your thyroid medicine with anything else. However, I pass medicine every morning for years and years and years and years for the last 15 years. Okay. And I'm going to tell you, you absolutely can take other medications or supplements a half hour to an hour afterwards. Generally, we like to wait an hour, but some people do take it a half hour after. But it's just like anything else, guys. You shouldn't take certain supplements with other things. Like if you take iron, you shouldn't take it with anything else. So you'd want to take your Thrive earlier. Like obviously, you take your Synthroid by yourself, right? So thyroid medicine, levothyroxine, or Synthroid, whichever you take. Some people have to take the name brand, so I was just tell you that. But don't ever go against, like, I always tell people, like, in a health matter, if you're taking medications for something, whether it's heart related, whether it's thyroid related, because a lot of people do not realize your thyroid affects your heart, it affects every part of your body. If you have hypothyroid, everything's slow. If you have hyperthyroid, everything's fast. So chances are you're going to have bowel issues, you're going to have heart issues, and that might just be you're tired. It might not exactly express that it's your heart. But if you're taking certain medications, there's a reason why you're taking them. However, what you need to understand is by taking better care of yourself, you may need less medications as you're taking those medicines, maintenance wise. But some things you don't have to be on for life because you've corrected. Just like, for instance, if you're a diabetic, type 2 diabetic, but you start taking better care of yourself, better health, you have massive weight loss, you start eating better, whatever, you may no longer have to take your metformin. You may be eating a high protein diet, which is actually proven to work very similarly to weight loss medications, like that a lot of people are familiar with right now, like the semaglutide, which and Wegovy and all of those things. And I'm going to tell you this because you might see on my page me promoting like the semaglutide shots. And please know, I don't actually take them. I've never taken them, but I've been educating myself on them. So that's why I know about them, because I partnered with a nurse practitioner that I'm helping with advertising Botox and like filler, and he does semaglutide. So I'm educating patients on that stuff for him, because of the diet and so forth. So while I've been investigating this stuff, I found that with Thrive, what do we teach people? We teach them to eat higher protein meals, and more frequent meals and so forth. And what I was finding is actually the reason why our bodies react better with that, is because there's a lot of foods, high protein foods, that actually work very similarly in our bodies, okay, as why we're not hungry and what satisfies those hunger hormones in our system. So I just thought that I'd share that real quick. So, anyways, the reason why I wanted to butt in there with the medicine is because I never want somebody to tell somebody to take something, or to take Thrive just because somebody else took it and it was okay. Okay. So like your unique situation, whether you have a complex whatever. But what I am telling you is nurses and doctors do not educate themselves on things that they do not know. So they're immediately going to think that a weight loss product is going to have a lot of caffeine, or it's going to be loaded with a bunch of stuff that's going to make your heart race or whatever. And I'm going to tell you that because I was ignorant about it and I called it a crack patch and I said your heart was going to explode. Because guess what I was told? I was told all these things because back then you could not get access to that information without actually having an account. And I refused to create an account because I was with another company. Okay. And that other company was definitely telling us that it had all this other stuff in it. So once I actually saw the ingredients, well, I put my foot in my mouth and I had to like come clean with everybody, be like, yeah, I lied. Sorry. I was uneducated. So I owned it. Okay. I owned it. So a lot of nurses and doctors, like, I can't tell you how many I've told to actually, here, look at it. And then cardiac doctors have looked at it and said, no, it's actually a very good supplement. It's actually loaded with a ton of really good stuff. And there's nothing in it that is excessive unless somebody is not allowed to have certain things. And if you have somebody that says, I'm not allowed to have any caffeine, ask them what their caffeine allowance is. Because like there's very low caffeine content in Thrive. Even if you add in one of the DFTs that has caffeine in it, it's still less than a cup of coffee for the entire thing. So
I love that you brought that up because I actually ask when somebody tells me they can't have caffeine, I ask, I'm like, do you drink tea? Because then
yeah,
if they tell me, oh yeah, I drink tea, because a lot, like especially in like in my culture and like just like in the Asian culture, they drink these like bubble tea drinks, these boba drinks, and if they drink that, they're definitely
yeah,
drinking caffeine. So you got to ask these questions and kind of sneak them in. Like just
yeah.
I love what Amanda was sharing, and
And you're not like, here's the thing, guys, chocolate, so they're not allowed to have any chocolate at all. Like, I mean, so these are all things that people eat on a daily basis and they're not associating it with caffeine because they're like, maybe they don't drink coffee or they're not allowed to have coffee. But I always am very straightforward with it. And I know that a lot of that comes because I am a nurse. But I just want you guys to have confidence in the fact that there is very low content. There's a lot of misconceptions. So it's our jobs to educate people on stuff. However, don't answer things that aren't asked. Okay. So like answer questions that people have for you, but don't like just like start spewing. Like don't give them paragraphs of information. Like when somebody asks me what's in something, I'm like, here, let me send you the PDF. That's it. That's what I do. I
yeah.
send the PDF and that's the end of it. Okay, because now they get to see what it is and see how it works and all that. I don't do anything else. I'm just like, what questions do you have? What goals do you have? And then guess what? If they cannot go for all three steps, I'm going to find out which step or what product is going to be most beneficial for them that's within their budget, right? So write down good, better, and best. Give people three options. Find out what their budget is. Don't be afraid to talk about the price because they're going to have to pay for it. If they went to the grocery store and they were buying something, they're going to have to pay for it. They're already having a conversation with you. They know they're not just going to get it for free. So they know they're going to have to buy something. So find out what their budget is, find out what their goal is, and then work with them best. If they want to make extra money, I always bring that up. If they talk about price being a problem, I immediately bring up, hey, listen, you can get this and we can work within your budget, try to get you the product for free as a customer. Or if you have any interest at all in becoming a promoter, okay, and making some extra money, it's the same thing. You just got to be willing to share it. And then I can teach you on what you can do to do this on a daily basis, right? You guys, people are really open right now more than ever to actually share. And I actually am very thankful for TikTok Shop because this has opened up people's realm of not being afraid to share. Okay. Because, like, whoa, I can make money. All you got to do is talk about something that you like, something that you love, and just opening up about it. And then honestly, you get to run your business for free. So it's like a win win.
I want to mention, okay, think of you got like yourselves, like you are not the source of the information, okay? Lavelle is always the source. You can always get the PDF from them. You can always send them the link. You are simply just the channel. You're just the messenger, right? Always revert them back to the source. So if they're asking for ingredients, like what Amanda's saying, like all you have to do is share the PDF, send it to them. If there is a specific highlight, if you have a personal experience with that product, share that. Oh my God, I love Black Label. It's great for my mood, right? Here's the PDF. Like they can go and do whatever. This is the same thing. If you guys have somebody who wants to promote, you're gonna get this a lot too. You're gonna be like, oh, I love the product. I love I'm having a great experience, but I'm the type of person that I have to know everything before I sell it or blah, 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 blah. You will hear this all the time too, right? All you have to do is say, we have the PDFs. You can just share those. You are not the source, okay? We're not the source, we're the channel. We're just channeling that information from Lavelle, we're giving it to them. That's it. That is basically it. Alex says we may need a quarterly Zoom or semi-annual Zoom because this info is gold. This is all really great stuff, you guys. And something I want to highlight too is like if you demand on her social media, she's not out there Mrs. Facts and Mr. and Mrs. Molecule. She's not, but she's a nurse, right? She's got all this stuff, and like if she's in the DM talking, then yes, whoever she's working on is gonna get all this good stuff and all that information. But that's kind of like on social media, you're always going to promote something that is attractive to whoever's watching you. A lot of the time, it's the flashy stuff, right? Like, oh my God, here's this weight loss, here's this transformation. Look at this person, they lost this, they lost that. These bonuses, like those are the things that really attract people. Okay, what is all this hype about? But what keeps them what keeps them in is the customer service that you offer them, right? Helping them, like how Amanda is like, she knows all these things in the back. Even if you guys do not know these things because she does have the nurse background, a lot of you guys on here are nurses, right? Or you can just share your personal experience or I actually had Janetta actually reached out to me today and she said to me, she's like, Jackie, what do you do when let's just say you have a promoter that has a customer who's like about to fall off, like they finally get you in a three-way, but this is the first time they're getting you in a three-way, and it's really just to save them when they're already like on their way out. Like, what do you do, right? She asked me that, and she's like, do you go in there and you save them? Like, and I told her, I said, you know what, honestly, I try to get my people, whoever I'm working closely with, to like kind of put me like introduce me to this person early. Like, if you have a customer, if you have a brand new customer and they're starting to love the Thrive experience, like it doesn't hurt mentioning to them, like, hey, I know you're loving the Thrive experience. Go follow Jackie. Go follow Angela. She's the one who like introduced me to Thrive. Like she posts like some really great stuff. Like just say things like that so then that they're watching another Thriver besides you, right? So just kind of throw it out there loosely, have them follow your upline, right? Your upline or a couple uplines, whoever you resonate with or whoever you think they will resonate with, right? That way, later down the line, if this customer decides to slip away and fall off or says like, the products are just not working for me, maybe they've already been watching your upline and your upline might be able to have a conversation behind your back on your behalf. You know what I mean? So anyways, Janetta asked me, and that was one thing I told her. And then the other thing I told her too is she's asked me, she's like, do you get in all these three-ways? And I said, honestly, I don't really get into a whole lot of three-ways because I don't like to try to convince a stranger. I
Me
don't.
either.
Just being completely honest with you. If you tell me like, oh my God, Jackie, I have this customer, she's being really difficult. She has all these like rashes and all this stuff because she's not drinking enough water. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to write out a very proper message to my promoter of what the fix is. And I'm going to tell them, screenshot this and send it to them. So
Mhm.
then that way they see that the promoter is going and looking for help for their customer and that it's coming from a credible source that's kind of like, it's not embarrassing, right? Because the customer might feel some type of way like, oh, they're trying to sell me. They're trying to, convince me. But if they're just saying like, oh, she's having rashes, like, what is the fix for this? And they see the screenshot, it's coming from me, and I'm doing it in a very compassionate, just answer the question, here's the solution kind of way, send it to them, like, and you know what I mean? Like it keeps everybody accountable. The person who's actually the promoter that's working on that customer, right? They're still put in a authority position that they're getting the answer, they're helping the person, right? So I told Janetta that today. I see you, Amanda.
I'm glad that you're talking about this because you guys listen, three ways are very, very powerful. All right. So I don't want to take away from that. However, anybody that's ever been in a three-way call or three-way message with me knows I have a rule. I have a rule. And that means that the person, you better know why they want to thrive. So you need to already know what their goal is. And you should have already discussed what's holding them back. Like what is why are they interested? All right. Because if I get in a three-way chat with somebody, I expect that you already know why you're putting me in a three-way chat with them. Like I should be closing the deal for you, right? If that's the process, they're curious, they're interested, they want to hear a little bit more of a story. You think my story would relate to them, whatever that may be. However, I shouldn't be just thrown in just because, hey, this person wants a sample. Everybody wants a free sample when you're doing that, right? So disqualified. No, I want to know that that person's going to order if I'm going to be in a chat with them or they're interested in the business, right? So you want to know what their deal is. Like, what are you interested in accomplishing? Like, what made you interested in this to begin with? Have you talked about budget, whatever? I just want to know a little bit of background, right? Like, what are they struggling with? What made them interested? Why would they want to thrive? When are they planning on ordering, all of those things, right? But listen, we get those posts out there, we want to get people interested, we want to do a bunch of samples, whatever that may be. So we want to put value on those. So if you're like doing free samples, then yes, you should be doing a put some value on it, meaning they've followed somebody or they followed the Lavelle fan page, or and that could be on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, wherever you're talking to them at, that's where I have them follow at, right? Because like now Lavelle is on every platform. So just have them follow whatever page that is for one, because Lavelle puts out good content. So you can have them follow that. But you also want to have them create that free customer account. You want to get their sample. You want to have them in agreement that they're going to share their experience. All right. That can be on Facebook or that can be with a couple friends. They're going to send you a couple people that are interested. Okay. They're going to talk about it. I prefer to have them post on social media if I'm talking to them on social media. If I'm talking to them in person, then I'm just going to do the same thing. But here's the thing, you want to put value on it. And it's time. You don't want to waste your time. Okay. So like where Jackie just said, you're not going to try to convince somebody that's like not interested or not, like they're already seeing there's very negative people out there. You guys move on. It's okay. It's all right. And if somebody says they're going to order and they never order, as long as you followed up, they're just a new statistic, a new fact out again, and it always comes back around. People are literally more likely to order 8 through 12th time of follow up. All right. And that includes you're more likely to keep your customer. In fact, everybody on here tonight can look up this fact. Okay. If you do not follow up with your customer and see how they're feeling, how they're doing, if they need anything, they're more likely to drop off. Fact. Why
Yeah.
not? If somebody doesn't follow up with me, I'm going to probably quit ordering from them. Why? Because they haven't reminded me that I need to order and I'm forgetful. And two, I just don't feel like they care. So if somebody doesn't care, why do I want to keep ordering off of them?
And you know what? If you have done this, like if you've fallen off and you have not talked to your customer, just shoot them a message, or like
Yeah.
respond on something maybe that they've posted. Or just say, like, you can even just reach out to them, like even if they're not story posters, because a lot of people are not.
Yeah.
You can even just message them in the DM and just say, hey, oh my God, like I know it's been so long. I saw your last post. You look great. Like, how have you been? How are you doing? Just really simple like that to break the ice again. That way you can just like start building that relationship with them again. Like obviously you're posting Thrive, they're gonna see it. You might not even have to say anything. They might even just be like, oh my God, I fell off. I've been really wanting to get back on. That's the kind of reaction you want, right?
Yeah.
Like they just kind of like naturally come out that way. Another thing with like objections and stuff, feel, felt, found. Okay. I feel, wait, I can't put it into a sentence right now, but feel, felt, found is like this kind of like a, It's just basically sharing with your customer or whoever's having an objection, you know what, I felt the same way, but this is what I found. Like, you know,
Yeah.
back then when I started, that's how I feel, you know, I felt the same way. An example for me, I had a lot of skin irritation when I first started, right? I started taking the 3 steps, I was getting a bit cleaner. Probably like a couple days in, you know, nobody's used to wearing stickers on their body. Like nobody, you know, not even your little kindergartners, like they're just not. Um, so when you put it on, like, yeah, sometimes there could be adhesive what you reactions, right? But it mainly happens because of dehydration, right?
Yep.
Most people are chronically dehydrated. If you think
Mhm.
about it, when was like if most people they don't drink 8 cups of water a day and they definitely don't do it every day. So if you're not doing that, think about how chronically dehydrated you are and how much you have to catch up, right? It takes a while to actually catch your skin up to, you know, your premium hydration levels. So when I would get people back then, you know, when I first started, they were saying, "Oh my God, this patch itches me." I would tell them, you know what? I was the same way. The whole first month, I did have these rashes and stuff. You know, what I did was I just cleaned it off like properly. I was using alcohol wipes, you know, just
Change the location.
yeah, just something, you know, I would change the location. I would make sure that I wipe off the residue. And I told him, I said, Thrive is amazing. After like a month of you taking this stuff, your skin elasticity is actually going to improve. Like
Mhm.
I had rashes on my body for the first month, but I felt so amazing. I dealt with it. They went away. I have never had them again. Right. So I tell them I went through it, right? I went through it. I felt all that stuff too, but it was worth me, you know, going through that and just kind of troubleshooting it along the way. And it worked every time, you guys.
I do wanna say there like, especially during the change of seasons, as we're going into winter when people's skin's drier, right? You start to notice it, and then also in the summertime, people have trouble with it, because of sweat. So, here's something I'm gonna tell you guys. First off, it's amazing to me, some people that say they have a really, really hard time cleaning it off because it comes off every time I shower. So, I'm like, I don't understand where that's at. Like, I mean, I scrub my body every day, so I don't know. I never have any problem getting my Thrive off. But you can use
You,
alcohol or Dawn dish liquid
You know what
for
I use? I use our cleanser in the shower. I just
yes, I
get a
do too.
little, oh my God, it's amazing. It is
Mhm,
really the best thing to get the DFT residue off, especially if you wear Duo Elite like me, because I'm 2 patches everywhere. But yes, it is the best thing. Just a little bit of the cleanser, you know, that stuff is gold, but you just need a little bit. You rub it around and it comes off very easily, you guys. Yeah,
mhm.
makeup remover as well. Those are all those things. I know it's annoying, but the energy is more, it's more great than, you know,
And listen, you guys, I have literally like I have been wearing my DFTs and I wore Black Label, both you guys all know I wore 2 Black Labels for years, okay? I like that's my spot. Like this is where you will always probably see my DFT. And I used to get irritation here and there. And listen, I don't ever want somebody just like to have like blood red skin and like it not going away because there are people that have very sensitive skin. So I tell people just to troubleshoot. I just want to tell you that, right? Like once you've gone through cleansing your skin properly, because trust me, guys, there are people that do not shower every single day. And yes, if you leave something on your body for days, it's going to get a little bit irritated. Okay. So if you've gone over hydration, you've gone over cleansing the skin, moisturizing the skin, making sure they're drinking plenty of water, you've done all of that. Okay. Um, Make sure they change locations, throw to a thicker area of skin, or like I've even had people put it on their calves or the back of their love handles, or just different areas. Okay. Because thicker areas that are less like thin, like these are actually, this is a very thin area, right? Good side of that, it's going to be absorbed quicker. Downside of that, it might be a more irritative area. So if you're finding you're breaking out more, just change locations, go to a thicker area, even on the back of that calf, or like I like to wear mine sometimes in the summertime on my ankles, just because my arms, like, might be sweaty or whatever. But I swim and whatever. Sometimes I have to replace my DFT. Sometimes it stays in place. But if you're getting into water, of course, if you're in there and you have a band-aid on, what happens? Sometimes you got to replace it, sometimes not. It's kind of all the above. I put aloe on after I put, yeah,
Aloe works great. You
yeah,
know,
aloe
very,
is good.
very nicely. I really like, I don't take no for an answer. You know, I give them like a good solution and I really try to push people through. And you know, like I don't win them all, obviously. Otherwise
Right.
I'd have them all,
If
right?
somebody's a hard no, they're a
Yeah.
hard no.
Yeah.
if they don't want it, guys, they're going to find every excuse in the book. And same thing goes with the business, right? If somebody is like really wants their business to work, they're going to work. But the biggest thing is when it comes to that is most people just don't want to be consistent with it. And I'm
Yeah.
just being honest with you guys. Like when it comes to building a business, most people are not going to watch the training. Most people overcomplicate it. The biggest thing is if you have a new promoter getting started, please listen to me when I tell you this. Stay simple. Plug them into their cloud office. Have them share their Thrive experience. You help them focus on thriving for free. Focus on your VIPs. Don't add them to 20 groups. Don't overload them with information. Let them just like look through stuff and you kind of keep them focused and one day at a time. Same thing with a new thriver getting started. Let's get your product. Okay, like you want to thrive, like follow the Lavelle fan page. Sure, great. Okay, let's day one. Are you getting started tomorrow? This is what you need to do. Take your 2 capsules, put them beside your bedside, get a glass of water or a bottle of water, whatever it may be. Um, do you like to, mix you can mix your lifestyle mix with water, you can mix it with unsweetened almond milk. If you want the extra calories, you could mix it with milk or whatever you want. This is what I do. I always tell people what I do because I like it like a little bit thinner. And so I prefer it with ice water. So I always tell them I like mix it with 8 to 10 ounces of water with an ice cube and mix it up. Or I'll have it sometimes. I like it a little bit thicker with some unsweetened almond milk, but I like to keep it like less calories and sugars and stuff like that, the better. And you can blend it with stuff if you want. If they want to be fuller and it to last longer for them, they could throw in some like PB2 or throw in like a banana or whatever they want. Of more, keep them fuller longer throughout the day. But if
We
they're
got we
really
got a
trying to lose
question.
weight.
We got
Oh,
a question in the chat. It's an objection. So my customer recently got nauseous and only took 4 days and now doesn't want it anymore. How would I address that? That is a great question.
I
Um,
love that question. So,
yeah.
I mean, honestly, guys, I would ask, what were you doing like on those like on the 4 days? Here's the thing: if it is somebody that's just not wanting to order, not wanting to thrive, you might be surprised that person might come back around later and want to try it again miraculously. But this might be her nice way of getting out of ordering right now. But if she has a month's supply and she's only taken 4 days, or she's sampling it, okay. If she's sampling or she got a month, whatever it may be, right? I'm really sorry you're feeling that way. Maybe she just got off her time of the month. There's a possibility of that. It could also be something going around. It could be just not wanting to do it. But it also could be the way that she's eating, what she's doing. It may be a little bit of detoxing. There people react differently to things. But there also some people do not like lifestyle mix. And let me tell you what, when your bowels are working, when they haven't been working, all of a sudden mm, you could be feeling a little something way. But I would just go through like all of the things. What are you doing on a daily basis? I want you to feel the best. So like maybe cut the lifestyle mix in half. Maybe switch it to every other day. Maybe it's too much for her too fast, right? So maybe she's detoxing a little bit like and she's never felt that before. You want her to feel amazing. So maybe even cut the product down. I had a girl she was an old 200K on my team, and she started off with 1 capsule, a half a lifestyle mix, and a half of a normal DFT. Okay. That's like literally all she started on, and she was on that forever.
I mean,
Um,
I start people like that all the
yeah,
time. Yeah,
yeah.
all the time. And for this particular one of her being nauseous, I always like to go in with, "Oh my God, how come you didn't message me?" I always say that. I always kind of throw it into
Mhm.
their court, like, "You didn't message me on day one. Like, how did you go through 4 days without taking? Oh my God, I'm so sorry you had to go through that by yourself, right?" So I will usually say something like that, and then I'll get down to the bottom of it, like what Amanda's saying. Tell me how you took the products. Did you eat breakfast that day? Like, I'll ask some of those things. And if she has the month, I would just tell her, I'm like, you know what? Take the weekend off or whatever. On Monday, it's like a good day or whatever. Start back on half and just eat breakfast like Like as soon as you're done taking your 3 steps, like within 30 minutes, eat something light, like as if you
Yep.
were sick. Eat a banana, eat some crackers or whatever. Do not go like letting those 3 steps like hit for a long time, right? Because after she eats the food, she'll start feeling a little bit more stable. It'll definitely cause the nausea, let the nausea like calm down.
Mhm.
So I usually just do that. And then I always tell her, like, don't waste your money. Like this stuff is gold, like
Yeah.
you bought the month for a reason, right? Like see it through. It's not going to stay that strong forever. It's just your body's not used to it right now, right? And then another thing, like the nausea, if it's going up, if it feels like it's going up, it's usually a gut health issue that's
Mhm.
like, she's kind of clogged because if it was going in the right direction, it'd be going down,
Yep.
right? She would
Yep.
be going to the bathroom, like at all the thrivers, their favorite step is the step two because they're going number two. But
Yeah.
if it's coming upward, it's probably like a gut health thing. So once that starts to clear, like just treat her like she's a sick person, right?
Yep.
Crackers,
Absolutely.
bananas, something light, like something not greasy, and then she'll feel better throughout the day. And when you can actually help somebody through them feeling nauseous and then them not, they're going to be like, oh my God, that helped so much. Thank you.
And I'm glad you addressed that because a lot of people, you guys think like high protein diet, they think of Atkins diet and they think of like greasy foods and bacons and stuff like that. But honestly, that stuff going to give you more heartburn, and heartburn is think vomit, think of nausea. Okay. So, just like what you're saying, Jackie, about the nausea feeling of coming up and then sometimes coming out. So you've got to think of it like that when you can help somebody get that relief in them to get through that. So just work like through the diet, like what are you eating throughout the day? Like, how can I help you? Like, I want you to feel the best, right? Like, that's why you came to me. So I want to help you feel the best. So just like let them know you care and then like help them work through those problems a little bit. And if you need to get somebody else that maybe might know a little bit more about that specific area or reach out to your team that maybe somebody else has gone through something similar, that would be a perfect person to throw into a three-way chat with that person if they're willing. I'm going to read this last objective before we get off here. Somebody posted it over here in the comments and says, I have an objection too. She bought a month, loved it, but then um, started giving her anxiety. Now, I don't want to say medical claims or anything like that, but this is just what this person said. She said that she just doesn't have the time or ready to commit to drink more water or eat more. So I just want to be honest with you. She just doesn't want to do it. So what it might be causing her anxiety, but listen, I still, even with that said, okay, it's like, girl, I don't want you to feel like that. I want you to feel amazing. Is how I would respond to that. So listen, why don't we take a couple of days? I want you to feel anything. So don't take it for a couple of days. All right. Because I don't want them to feel that because honestly, they're probably working themselves up a little bit. With that said, if they're on a lot and they maybe didn't drink coffee or get any caffeine before, and they maybe are on Duo Elite, for example, or men's capsules or whatever, like now they're getting a dose of something that they didn't have. Again, back up, start slow, right? But as for the diet and the water is I'm sorry, it's a deal breaker. If you're not going to increase your water, like there's no point in you even trying. Okay, I'm saying that, but I want you to know this, guys. People are never going to eat perfectly, never going to drink enough water, probably either. But I am just truly brutally honest with them. I'm like, the better you're going to feel overall if you just drink some darn water. Like, listen, why don't you mix up some, like, throw in a packet? I don't care. I know people have their opinions, but water is water is water is water. Okay. So I don't care if you throw in a mix in packet, you throw in the Mio, you throw in whatever. Listen, more drinking water is better than none. I know that people have opinions about that, but I'm just going to tell you whether you're throwing in lemon or you are throwing in a squirt of Mio, um, whatever it may take for you to get that water in, chug it, right? Chug it, get it down. Maybe even challenge yourself to drink, 4 ounces before, you get up in the morning and you take your 2 capsules, drink 4 ounces of water, just anything to increase baby increases. We're not asking for them to all of a sudden drink a gallon of water a day, but trying to help them through that. And if they just don't want to eat more, and I'm not sure what that one means, but listen, most people eat well more than what they're supposed to on a daily basis, unless they're severely underweight. They're just eating all the wrong things. So, what you can suggest is maybe just kind of like splitting that out throughout the day or whatever. But the reality of it is that your metabolism is going to work better if you eat smaller, higher protein meals throughout the day. That's just the way our bodies work. That's why if you go fasting all night long, and it's why intermittent fasting works. It's why when you go in the morning, and you get up and you eat breakfast, you're actually going to control your appetite better throughout the day, unless you're intermittent fasting, because your body gets trained. So that's why that works the way that it does. It's like a metabolism reset, basically. But anyways, we could talk about objections all day long. But you guys, the reality of it is there's a lot on the table right now. And if you don't share it, people aren't going to know it. If you don't talk about it, people aren't going to know what something can do for you. The best examples I can give you is sharing what it is that you are personally experiencing, what your goals personally are, what it's done for you. That's going to be genuine. And I want one last thing I'm going to say is just be you. Okay. Just show up and be consistent and be you. People want real. They don't want I know that like we are programmed to believing that everybody wants this objection, but I'm going to be honest. I relate to people that are more like me. Okay, like just a normal everyday human being. And I think the world is starting to get there too. I think that's why TikTok Shop is so like miraculous, and why it's working and growing so much is that people want real reviews from real people that like look like them, feel like them, are like them. I am like such a simple person and a mess most of the time that I have literally showed up like this in 11 years. So if I can do that and find my way, you can too. You just have to be consistent and disciplined with it, right? And that's like our customers, good customer service, writing down, you guys checking on those people. Trust me, you are saving yourself business by making that one business move. When you're stressing about what customers you're going to get, just give better customer service to the ones you already have. And then try to help them get some friends, getting started and then helping them get it for free. That's a big thing. If they don't want to share it, they don't want to talk about it. Okay, like move on. It's
That's
okay.
true. I mean, I have a customer that's given me like 5 referrals, doesn't post on social media. You know what I mean? Your referrals can come from anywhere. You don't have to just ask somebody to post online. Like,
I
five
get
referrals
referrals from
from
people that
that.
aren't even currently ordering. Like they're just like, here, they're sending me people. And I'm like, oh, this is wonderful. But I want to make sure they're under the right people. And they're like, oh no, it's okay. I already sent her. I'm like, well, why didn't you tell me that you sent her? Like I had no clue. I just get a random message from somebody. So I've learned to start asking, like, did anybody tell you to message me? Just because I don't know everybody that has friended me or followed me throughout the years or where they've met me from. So I just try to like I look back through messages if we talked before, but I try to make sure before they get their account that like I know for sure if a customer sent them or somebody else sent them. But sometimes, guys, people started with somebody but they didn't want to continue with somebody, and that I cannot change. And there's a reason why they wanted to join me or order from me. And that kind of gets a little tough sometimes, but like that's the reality, is because maybe they weren't getting the love or support or care that they needed, or maybe they just didn't relate to that person at all. So in that case, like I'm just going to do my job at this point, is like I'm going to help them, I'm going to help that person the best that I can. And I'm sorry that they decided to come along over here with me at some point, but that's just the reality of it, right? So don't take it personal. Just know that you're going to go with who you relate to and who you feel comfortable opening up to and talking to, just like the next person, right? So like we just have to learn to respect that and understand that. And just
And
remember, the better care you give somebody, the more likely they're going to be to stay with you, right?
last thing, Thrive-Palooza's right around the corner, you guys. Super exciting stuff. Like some of this, a bunch of like leaders got emails and stuff for speakers, and it's starting to
Can't wait.
pan out. Like if you guys are going, you guys are in for such a good treat, especially for the breakout sessions that are going to be happening. So get excited, start talking about it. I've been talking about Thrive-Palooza weekly, like pretty often, a couple times a week, so that people see
Oh, and
and they're
there's
gonna be
calls
excited.
every night too.
Is there? Where?
Yes, there's been a call. Chas and Amber have been sharing a call every single night as well. You guys, you can get somebody on. It's a dial in, but there's also recordings posted.
Oh,
So
wasn't that Maria's?
yeah, so
Yeah, okay.
everybody's just taking a turn. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's
Okay.
different leaders going on. So Maria, Amber, and Chas. And listen, I've been like posting it in my stories. I missed posting it tonight, but I've been trying to do it every night. But then also I've been intentionally sending it to people that I'm talking to. So that's like more effective sometimes too, is just sending it to the people that are actually interested. Like, hey, listen, this can be on every night in March. So make sure like if you have anybody that's interested or whatever, and they're willing to dial in, you guys listen. I dialed in on a phone line to have a three-way chat with somebody when I was not a three-way person. So don't knock it until you ask them to actually call it, okay? Because you never know. If they're really interested, they may just jump on and listen. But anyways, all right, everybody have a good night. I'll get the recording up, I promise. It probably won't be up till the morning though, but I'm gonna hit the button now and hopefully it finishes uploading, but otherwise it'll be up in the morning.
Bye.
Bye guys. Have a good night.